Welcome to another production from the Technology Training Team. Participants will learn about strategies and examples for cultivating a positive culture by building relationships with students virtually.
Building Relationships Virtually by Technology Training Team. Ensure that you visit our website at bit.ly/T3PGCPS and follow us on Twitter at T3PGCPS. Your presenters today from the Technology Training Team are Clarissa Burton, Michelle Conti, Marianne Santos, Jake Voschel, and Ashana Wong Wayne. For today's session goals, we'll be focusing on Domain 2, the classroom environment. This session will help teachers establish an environment of respect and rapport. You will participate in learn strategies for cultivating relationships with students and explore examples for developing a positive culture with students virtually.
To know your students virtually. Connecting with students is important, regardless of working with them face to face or virtually. When building relationships with your students, share a piece of who you are as a human with emotions, who makes mistakes, or who may not always know the answer, just like them. Make sure your students feel safe sharing in a virtual environment. Support your students by connecting with them and emphasizing that we are all learning and growing together. Ways to connect with students. Building relationships with our students at the beginning of the year helps them feel more secure, supported, and loved, which makes them more likely to want to engage and participate in learning, which can lead to less misbehavior and students feeling a connection with you that can motivate them to perform well in your class. There are many ways to begin building important relationships with your students in a virtual setting. In this session, we will share a few back-to-school activities with you that will foster building strong relationships with your students. Step right up and get your ticket to explore back-to-school activities that will help build relationships with your students. We have something for everyone. Pre-K through second grade teachers, click on the red primary ticket to explore virtual activities for younger students. Intermediate elementary teachers, click on the green ticket to explore fun activities to connect with your intermediate students. And finally, secondary teachers, click on the orange ticket to discover engaging activities that your middle and high school students can have a great time completing. So we have a few activities for our primary grades. You can begin getting to know your students with an All About Me Google form. Let's explore it. Students can click on the pictures to share important information about themselves to begin forming those connections with you. For our intermediate students, we also have an All About Me Google form. In addition to that, we have a collaboration activity. It's an All About Me activity. And we also have I Wish My Teacher Knew. So this activity allows students to share information that they may want to let you know regarding how they may feel about the pandemic or working virtually. In addition, we have an All About Me letter. When you click on the letter, it prompts you to make a copy to save your own copy in your Google Drive. In this Google Doc, students are given instructions on how to craft a friendly letter. And then there's a model for you in which I write a letter introducing myself to you. It's always good to give your students an example so they know exactly what the finished product could look like. And let's look at some activities for our middle and high school students. Again, we have an All About Me form, and this is much geared toward our older students. They can share information. We also have an All About Me letter. In addition to that, we have a writing journal. Again, you're prompted to make a copy. And it saves a copy to your drive. And in this journal, your students can learn how to write a friendly letter. But you can take this a step further and model how to maintain a writing journal just as you would in your face-to-face classroom. I'm going to go to presentation mode. And I just want to show you when you click on write a friendly letter, it takes you through the process on how to write a friendly letter. So this may be a great activity to get your students writing early at the beginning of the school year. And again, I have an example that I share with you just so you can see, or your students can see, what the finished product could look like. So have fun exploring these different activities. Get your ticket to begin engaging with your students virtually. We wish you all a great school year, and we look forward to supporting you throughout the rest of the year.
Social emotional learning, also known as SEL. It is important to keep in mind social emotional learning. This is key to building relationships with our students, especially virtually. According to Roger Weisberg, he says that embedding social emotional learning in your instruction provides a foundation for safe and positive learning and enhances students' ability to succeed in school, careers, and life. There are short and long-term benefits of SEL. Students are more successful in school and daily life when they know and can manage themselves, understand the perspectives of others and relate effectively with them, and make sound choices about personal and social decisions. Embedding activities like My Color Days and My Reflections can help you be successful in addressing social emotional needs of your students. We have provided you here some activities for you to try out. And we have two types. Again, My Many Color Days, which is great for elementary and primary students. And the other is My Reflections, which is good for upper elementary or secondary students. Let's take a look at elementary for My Many Color Days. Here is a Google slide where each student can have an individual slide for them to work on. And for you as teachers to participate, when you refer back to this presentation, you can participate by choosing a slide that hasn't been used yet and try out the different ways to show your feelings. On slide 2, we have directions for the teachers so that they understand how this activity works, but I'm going to be showing you right here. So for example, there's no one on slide 3, and I'm going to click on here, and you'll notice that there is information outside the canvas. And when we say outside the canvas, that means it's not on the main part of the slide, but it's outside of it. So I'm just going to zoom out by going on the top left, click zoom, and I'm going to do 50%. I know this may be a little bit small, but I want you to be able to see everything that's on here. So for students, they can choose a color and an emoji to go with their feeling. So for example, on yellow days, they can drag this over here. I feel, and then they could say happy, or they're sad, or they're sleepy, whatever they choose. And also, students can insert an image themselves that represents how they feel. They can choose an image of themselves, or they can choose an image online to show their understanding of that color and that feeling. So for this activity, it could be done for a whole class or individually, and it's completely up to you. And this lesson can also be customized to fit the needs of your students. For middle school and high school, we have a version called My Reflections. So if you choose either, they're exactly the same, they're just slightly different color so that you can participate as a teacher to try out this activity. Again, on slide 2, we have directions for the teacher to help them guide them through this activity. So I'm going to go to slide 3, and again, I'm going to change my zoom view to 50 so that you could see the whole. Here, the students can do a reflection on an overall activity, or you can add this to any assignment that you are working on with the students, where they can do the reflection of their project, their assignment, or of the entire day of how they felt. They can choose a color, and they can drag it over to the box that says color. They can choose an emoji or image that we have provided for them, or they can insert their own image. Also, we put directions on the right side for the students where they can reflect on their day, assignment, or activity. And some other directions we have, it says use complete sentences, use details, adjectives, and verbs, and also include an image and or color that represents your feelings. Use the image provided or insert your own image. Also, we've also provided possible sentence starters that students can use when putting in their reflection. Some examples are, this activity made me feel blank because blank. What I would like to know more about is blank. It was easy for me to blank and on. You can also customize this any way you would like so that the students can be guided throughout their reflection. So these are just a couple that you can use. And please keep in mind that there are ideas and activities that we are showing you to help address social emotional learning, but also student services has some guidance as well.
All right, and now we're going to get into engagement and fun using brain breaks. One possible game you can play with students is Would You Rather? And you would have them you would pose questions like, would you rather have the superpower of invisibility or seeing the future? And they would respond in the chat with what they would rather. So you can pose various questions and ask them to respond in the chat. So just so you know a little bit about brain breaks for primary grade levels, you can use show and tell, Blue's Clues, mini talent shows, 1 minute to display talent, Go Noodle, which has various activities to keep the kids physically active, and a virtual scavenger hunt where they can find things in their home. Some ideas is we've had students show and tell their pets, or a virtual scavenger hunt. You can say, find something that's the color red in your house, or especially for the primary kids who are learning their colors or their letters, find something with the first letter being letter A. So this is a great way to engage the students and get them up and out of their seat. So those are activities for primary grade levels. For brain breaks for intermediate and secondary, here are a few possible activities that you can do during each remote lesson. You can take 2 minutes and have students present a joke, music, meme, or have a video break. You can play a 2-minute clip from one of your favorite songs. Another good idea is to have students submit jokes, memes, music they've created, or videos they have created, and you can approve them to be shared with the class. And either the student can present it during the brain breaks, or if they're not comfortable with presenting it, you can present it on their behalf during the brain breaks. But allow the students to have creative leadership in this area. As far as chat box challenges, there are different things you can do with the chat boxes and allow the students to possibly talk about when you start the virtual meeting, you could say, post something, things with 3 legs, write it in the chat box, or food that starts with T, or find something round and red, run to the kitchen and bring back a spoon. So there are different things you can do to engage the students in the chat box.
So one of the other ways that you can provide a connection to your students and build the relationships is to provide student choice for your students. So in this section, we're going to take a look at creating student choice for building community. So one way that you can do that is building a choice board. So let's take a look at a quick example. You'll be able to click on the link here when you look at the presentation. And this is just a real quick, simple choice board for students. This was built in Google Docs. We'll walk through and provide you with a template for how to do this. Simple basic information provided at the top. Added in a couple emoticons, emojis at the top or clip art, depending on the grade level as you see fit. And then as we get back to school, let's have some fun, get to know each other. Depending on the grade level and depending on how you want to incorporate this one is set up as having 9 squares. Each one is identified with a different type of activity. So this could be something you do each week. Students complete one activity. The directions in this example ask that students complete 3 of the tiles in a row. So just like tic-tac-toe, they can go straight across, they can go up and down, or they can go diagonal. So this is a nice quick example built entirely in Docs for you to build from. The bottom section is a table. It has text, and then you'll notice that there's a link provided with each, and then just a quick image or icon included with that. So let's take a look at how to build a choice board for your students and provide choice for them. So these directions are here just to get you started. You're going to open Google Docs, do file page setup. We'll walk through those sets, add your title, your images, directions for students. And the setup that we provided for you is a 3x3 table. You can decide which one you want to use and how you want to use this within your classroom. Again, providing choice is key. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick look at how to build that choice board. So to begin, I added my name at the top. The blank template that you'll have will just say back to school bingo. I'm going to go ahead and I added my name at the very top. If I wanted to, I can go up to my Bitmoji icon, my add-on, and I can find, just like Michelle had earlier in her presentation, and I can add a quick image onto the top of my page. Shrink it all down so it fits a little bit better. And I can make that adjustment as I go. I can add in whichever images I want. I can modify the background color and I can modify the text. If I decide I don't want a backpack, easily enough, I can click on the backpack, do a right click. I can go down to replace image, and I can do search the web. I'll do a search just for books. I'm going to click on books and hit replace. The benefit of doing something like replace image when you get the template is that it will resize the image exactly for the same size and space that it was before. I'm going to put my backpack back. We've added in our text for you so that you have that information already provided. So you'll notice that the template that you're going to have is going to have empty boxes for you. That way you can decide exactly what parts you want to build as you're moving forward. So the one that I'm going to walk you through is back to school name. So I'm going to simply type in my text. Again, highlight any of the text. I can adjust my font style at the top to whatever font style I want. This will eventually be my link. I'm going to hit return once because now I'm going to add in my image. To add in my image, I'm going to go to insert, image, and I'm going to do search the web. This lets me search from within Google instead of leaving the platform entirely. In this one, I'm going to look for name badge. And I get a hello, my name is. I'm going to click on that once. It gives me a little blue check mark. At the bottom, I'm going to click insert. It's going to insert that image into the box. I'm going to shrink it down just a little bit. And I can adjust where I have everything showing up, how I want that to wrap on the screen, top, bottom, whatever the case may be. So the last piece that I need for this is I need to make this into a link. So I'm going to take back to school name. I'm going to highlight that. But what am I going to link it to? So I already have open this back to school name game. So this is where that link would take you. You get a title screen and it says your back to school name is. How are you feeling right now? Plus the first name of your favorite book character and your favorite snack. So it could be stressed Harry fries. So Harry Potter being the character, stressed how I'm feeling, favorite snack is fries. So I'm going to go ahead and grab that information. So this was not my original back to school name game. I got this from someone else. So you notice that it says view only. I'm going to grab the link at the very, very top. So I'm going to highlight that entire link. Where it says edit on the side, I'm going to go ahead and take that out and I'm going to type copy. This is going to let it force a copy for my students to use. Now I can highlight that entire address, do copy. So I did Command C. I go back to my bingo tab. I've highlighted that text. I click on the link. And now I simply do paste. Get my link back open. And I hit apply. At this point, the link has turned. Now, if I click on that link, it's going to take me straight to the back to school name game, which is what I wanted, and make a copy so that I would have that for my students. So this template provides you with a couple things. It's going to give you a blank screen. You're going to have some information to fill in at the top as you see fit. And then as you develop and get ideas, you can drop those in. There will be provided for you a list of additional types of ideas that you can build from to go from there. The next page, this provides you the links. If you're in elementary school, you're going to click this link. It's going to take you to the same template, slightly different background. You'll notice that there's no Mr. Voschel at the top. You have the images to replace, and then your 9-square grid. Wait for this to catch up. Middle school will take you to the middle school version. High school will take you to the high school version so that you can go ahead and make your adjustments and your additions as you move forward.
Once again, we are the technology training team. Here are your presenters with our emails. If you have any questions, please feel free to email any of those emails on the screen or t3@pgcps.org. Thank you.